The Washington Wizards are entering the 2026 offseason. This is the most important part of the Wizards rebuild because we are at the turning point where it's no longer about losing games and getting a high draft pick. It's about competing for playoff contention. For some context, GM Will Dawkins officially closed the book on what he called the deconstruction phase of this rebuild. 6 first-round picks shipped in, nearly 200 losses absorbed, and now Dawkins says the team will try and compete next season, though he was not careful to overpromise. Transition 2026-2020 season is the evaluation year. Who stays, who goes, who's the cornerstone? We're about to find out. Mark your calendars. May 10th is a huge. That's the NBA draft lottery night, and the Washington Wizards are sitting at the table with some real odds. They got a 14% shot at the number 1 pick, 13.4 at 2, 12.7 at 3, and 12% at 4, and a 47.9 chance they stay at 5. So realistically, they're probably picking 5th. But hey, lottery magic is real. This acts, well, not the worst team in recent history. The NBA's worst team hasn't landed the number 1 pick since the league switched to its current lottery format back in 2019. So don't hold your breath, Wizards fans, but don't you dare look away either. Now let's talk about who they might be picking. The consensus top 4 prospects are Edge Benson out of BYU, Darren Peterson from Kansas, Cameron Boozer from Duke, Caleb Wilson out of North Carolina. These 4 are considered the cut above the rest. If Washington stays at 5, which is most likely, the names in the conversation includes Darius Acuff from Arkansas, Keaton Wagler from Illinois, and Kingston Fillman from Houston, and Michael Brown out of Louisville. A cluster of talents and guards who could slot right into a young developing backcourt. This pick matters a lot. Okay, now here's where things get serious. Trae Young has a $49 million player option for the 2026-2027 season. But it's widely expected he'll decline that option, instead sign a multi-year extension to stay in Washington. Let that sink in. Trae Young, one of the most electrifying point guards in the league, is committing to the Wizards' long-term team. That's a signal, that's a statement. The rebuild is real.
And that one taken away. Debonsa has it.
D'Angelo Russell has nearly $6 million player option with the buyout market reportedly non-existent. He could opt in to fight
a little bit vulnerable and not a great free throw shooting team. What a great year.
Those defenders too, and that allowed Kamar to get an easy one.
As a whole soap opera with
Davis the rebound. AJ Debonsa.
Now let's talk about the guy Wizards fans should be most excited for this offseason.
Debonsa, one-on-one, crossover, elevates.
This one feels like
I believe that could be a good pairing. Debonsa
11.7 points and 3 rebounds and 31.9% from 3 weren't exactly eye-popping. The numbers don't tell the story.
16 points in the first half for Debonsa.
Ability to guard the opposing team's best player while switching 1 to 4.
Where they move the defense and can attack it. They played this whole game in the half court.
As well as anybody.
Dawkins gave Danny Abdul a 54-year, $55 million extension that looked like one of the best contracts in the league. Followed it up with a $54 million deal with Corey Kispert. If history repeats itself, Cool Ball is getting paid. And for any deal to be signed closer to the opening night in October, that's been Patter's previous extensions. So there you have it. Washington Wizards are entering the most important offseason for their rebuild and potentially a top 5 draft pick. Locking in Trae Young long-term and Bilal on the verge of a big extension, and a front office that's been quietly building something real. After 196 losses of 3 years of deconstruction, DC might finally be ready to win again. The Washington Wizards is awakening. Don't sleep on it. Smash that like button and subscribe if you're new. I'll catch you in the next one.